I didn't want to come to the Hiawatha Trail just to ride down. I wanted to be able to say I went all the way back up.
You always push me to do these kinds of things.
I think we're going to be able to say we went all the way back up.
I'm not giving up now. We just biked the Hiawatha Trail in Northern Idaho.
This thing is mind-blowing. There is 10 tunnels and 7 trestles. It's an easy, like 1.6 average grade downhill. It's been called one of the most scenic stretches of railroad in the country. I was born and raised in Idaho, and I have never been to Northern Idaho.
Well, we never even brought our kids here, and we raised our kids in Idaho.
Northern Idaho is totally different than Southern Idaho.
It is, and I've always wanted to do this bike trail. It's on my bucket list.
When we were in Butte last week, we hiked a little bit of this. This is part of the Milwaukee Railroad that goes from Chicago all the way over to Tacoma, Washington. In the early 1900s, the Milwaukee Railway developed some of the most scenic railway in the country. In the 1940s, they put out a fleet of trains called the Hiawathians. That rail system became known as the Route of the Hiawatha. That's how it got its name. Let's talk about how to get the bikes on the trail.
You can either bring your own bikes or you can rent them. And if you're going to rent them, you probably should do it a couple weeks in advance. You can do it online. To get your rentals, you need to go to the Lookout Pass ski area, and it's on the Idaho-Montana border. You get your bikes, your helmets, your light that you definitely need.
The whole process is really an assembly line.
It was.
So you walk in, you stand in line to get the bike, and then you stand in line to get your helmet, and then you stand in line to get your bike.
And it also comes with a bike rack, which we didn't use. We just tossed them into the back of the truck.
It worked well for us. Maybe. Renting or not, everybody needs a trail pass. The trail pass comes with your rental, but if you're bringing your own bike, you can go up to Lookout Pass to purchase one, or you can go directly to the trailhead where you can purchase one there at the East Portal. But there you'll have to pay with cash. You'll also want to buy a shuttle pass, but we'll talk more about that later.
Once you pick up your rentals, you head back on the freeway. It's only 5 miles to exit 5 in Montana, and you take a 2-mile dirt road and you're at the East Portal parking lot.
This is where everything begins. From that parking lot, the first thing you see is that 1.6 mile tunnel. This
dark.
You have no idea what you're getting into. That tunnel, you start going in.
You have to have a light.
1.6 miles of tunnel. It's dark. All you have is your headlight on your.
It's not just dark. It's wet.
It's damp. It's wet.
There's water coming down, dripping on you. You're dodging puddles.
You're gonna earn a racing stripe. It's gonna be up your back.
And you'll wear it proudly.
But
depending on how fast you're going, that's how big your stripe is too.
It's an experience. It is.
It was awesome.
It's a fantastic. You know what I would do? I would pay the money just for the tunnel. When you start that trail, you're in Montana. About halfway through that tunnel, you're back in Idaho. So the rest of the trail, you're in Idaho. When you come out of that trail, you're in what they call the West Portal. And there's a little waterfall there that everybody stops for to, kind of take pictures and I guess stop and rest, even though it's level. You're not tired.
The whole time I was thinking, so that's why it's so wet in there. We literally come out of the tunnel and there's a waterfall.
There's water.
That's probably why.
And for a little bit of the trail there, I think probably for the next 1.5 miles, you're sharing with cars. There's vehicles that kind of go on the road there, and like maybe the first tunnel. Apparently you can drive cars on here. We just had a Jeep pass us, and you can still hear his music in the tunnel.
Wow.
And his siren.
His siren.
And some bus traffic that's transporting people. But then after that, it's bike trail. It's beautiful, and tunnels and
the trestles. I mean, we're talking over 100 feet tall trestles, and many tunnels. They just were one after the next.
So scenic.
So much. I mean, as far as your eye can see, you can see trestles below you. You can see tunnels coming up.
Especially those first few. You stop at a trestle and you can see other trestles down below you. It is the most mind-blowing thing. And to be able to ride that on a bike, and it's all downhill, and you think about 15 miles of downhill, and it's all ages. There's little kids riding, some of them attached to their parents' bike, and others just on their bikes, just kind of scooting along down the hill.
Because it's such a leisurely stroll, the downhill part. You can stop whenever you want. There's a lot of educational sites you can stop at and just take all of the scenes in. It is
a beautiful ride. And about halfway down the hill, there is a water stop. You want to bring your own water. You want to bring enough water, but there is a water stop about halfway. We saw some water jugs out there so you could refresh. We were on that train trestle right there. And how many tunnels did we go through after that? Like 2?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a tunnel before that. I've totally lost count. There's so many. And now we're on another train trestle right now. So 10 tunnels to go through. Of course, the one being the longest, the 1.6 miles. So they all seem really long. 7 trestles, huge trestles to go over. And everybody's stopping at the trestles, of course, for the pictures. And I think there was trestles that are like 200 feet high. Large trestles. And people stopping for lunch to eat their lunch on top of the trestles. Beautiful scenery. And the last several miles of the trail were just open trail downhill, and then that's where you kind of just coast down the hill to get down to the shuttle buses. So you get down to the bottom of the hill, you go through the archway where the shuttle buses are, and the shuttle buses are old school buses that are half seats and half hooks, where you sit in there and then they load your bike or your rented bike or your bike to load you back up the hill. This is where the shuttle passes come into play, because that's how you get back up to the top of the hill. That bus takes you back up to that west portal. That's where you popped out of that 1.6 mile tunnel. So you're going to ride back through that 1.6 mile tunnel to the east portal. That's back up to the parking lot. So you get to ride through the tunnel one more time.
And get that double racing stripe.
You get to earn it.
You definitely feel like you earned it after that.
So I think the total ride for the day puts you 15 miles down, and then with that 1.6 again, I think it puts you roughly at 16 miles, but you don't feel it.
Unless. Well, we just made it 15, it was over 15 miles down the Hiawatha Trail. And now Ryan got a wild hair and he wants to go all the way back up.
It's going to be fun. I mean, you come back down, they bus you back up. You just get in the bus and they take you for a ride right back up. But if you can ride back up, and it's a gradual ride. So I convinced Sarah at the bottom of the hill. We got down there and there was a line for the shuttle buses, and I said, hey, you know what? That was such a gradual ride and it was really quick and easy. Let's go back up.
And I said, are you crazy? We don't ride bikes. We can't go 15 miles back up.
But it felt so easy because, we had convinced ourselves that, hey, that was an easy gradual ride down the hill. Well, I guess if we fail, we'll tell you about it. And then we already bought the bus ticket, so if we fail, we could just turn right back around and come down and get on the bus with everybody else.
I wonder if that's why the bus tickets are non-refundable. The shuttle is non-refundable.
Yeah,
it's probably because people ride down, they're like, oh, we could just go back up.
Yeah, and go right back up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it wasn't as easy coming back up. No, it was, there was a couple people that had passed us on e-bikes going back up the hill, and I'm talking older guys that looked very cush and relaxed coming back up the hill, just whizzing past us. We had to stop every mile to make it up that hill.
Probably not safe to use my iPhone while we ride, but man, we are earning this trail.
Can you see that? We were down there before.
How you feeling, Sarah?
Well, I've seen better days.
I'm sweating. Got the chills. My butt hurts. Got a Charlie horse in my hip.
We're almost there, though.
It's something like that. We're almost there.
We knew at any point in time, we still had shuttle passes. We knew we could, if we got tired, we could turn around and take the buses back. But we wanted to say that we made it back up the hill.
Wait a minute. You really, he needed to say that he had been
I
up
wanted to
the
say.
hill. And, I tagged along.
But it was a good experience. It was fun.
It was.
At the end of the day.
I'm glad we did it.
So once you're done with the trail, you do have to load your bikes back up, and you do have to make the trek back to Lookout Pass to drop your bikes back off at the same rental location. But the Hiawatha Trail, absolutely an amazing experience.
Yes, if you're in Idaho or if you're traveling through, put it on your list to do. It is, you will not regret it.
It's been one of my top experiences, and I can't help it tell everybody that I'm running into on the Hiawatha Trail, you got to go try that.
100%.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
See you next time.
We're done. And all I got to say is, who needs a shuttle pass? We don't need no stinking shuttle passes.
We paid for that shuttle pass.
How much did we pay for it?
I don't think it was super cheap, but...
Huh.
Oh, well.
So here's the question, Sarah. Would you do it again? Would you ride? Okay, so the ride down is obviously easy and fun and relaxing. The wind's blowing. It's beautiful. How about the ride back up? Would you ride back up?
I don't know. I mean, not anytime soon.
So I would ride back up if I was conditioned, which I'm not. I haven't ridden a bike for years. Maybe if I had my own bike, because I imagine these rental bikes aren't the best.
The one you came up on wasn't good.
Had a hard time with the bike. Or if I had an e-bike. We saw a couple e-bikes. I keep talking about e-bikes. I want an e-bike, and there's a couple e-bikes that just raced past us as we were coming up the hill.
Yeah.
But conditioning is probably good.
You think? It was an experience, and you know.
I'm glad I did it, and now I could say we went down the Hiawatha and back up the Hiawatha.
He really wanted to be able to say that. You know?
That was kind of important to
It
me.
was.
Because everybody that comes here goes down the Hiawatha, but I want to be able to come back up.
Well, you did.
All right, that's it. I'm going to go take a shower.
Me too.